Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm in the state of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. And today we'll be talking about this beautiful country, the country of Australia. Now there are a lot to talk about, but obviously we're gonna keep it as a short one. So every year, a lot of people come to Australia and there are a lot of reasons as to why they come to Australia. And after they live here for a while, some people say, oh, it's a beautiful country, I love Australia. They fall in love with this country. And there are people who, they kind of have a mixed feeling about pretty much everything. It's kind of like a mixed bag. Okay. And then, of course, there are other people who give up, who actually quit. So, yes, see, every society has some problems, and Australia is no exception. First of all, living in a foreign country, it is a difficult job. And if you live in Australia, it's no exception. You know, we have lots of challenges. There is no denying, there is no shying away from the fact that as a nation, we have a lot of challenges, okay, to deal with. Right now, for instance, we have a housing crisis going on in Australia. Rentals have gone up quite a bit. And then we have like two major wars that are taking place. And as you can imagine, like the fuel price have gone up, the commodities have gone up. So all of these things are putting a lot of pressure in the lives of average Australians. So these are obviously, challenges that everyone is facing. So there is no denying, there is no shying away from the fact that we have challenges. But despite those challenges, we're going to look into something positive, okay? I've been living here in Australia for about 10 years. And I have lots of memories, good, bad, ugly, you name it. So but today we're going to focus on something that is good. Okay, that's the purpose of making this video. So what Australia is famous for, okay? Now, there are, again, as I said, there are quite a few things, but today we'll talk about something that is very unique to Australia. Like we are a land, it's a massive chunk of land. Australia, it's a huge land, okay? We are an island nation. It's surrounded by ocean. So we live around the edges pretty much, like those are the areas which is habitable in Australia. But despite the challenges, like the environmental challenges, we still have a massive land, a huge land. Okay, we have pristine beaches to begin with. Not that one, by the way, the one you just saw. It's a river. Okay, the water is kind of muddy as well. Like I'm having my morning walk, so I thought I might as well come to this side of the area that I'm here right now. Okay, it's kind of marshland, kind of river, but it is also pretty beautiful. So that's why I thought I might as well come here. So we have forest, we have endless green, verdant forest. We have this kind of dark green vegetation that you might be able to see pretty much all throughout the year. We have like tall trees. We have mountains, majestic mountains, huge mountains, rocky mountains. We have these kind of ragged trails. And of course, a few reptiles. Okay. And yeah, so as a land, it has a lot to offer. But one thing I should point out is this, because, like we have beautiful long days, bright, sunny outdoors, and people, because we have lots of beaches, people try to gather, especially during the weekend, they try to go to the beaches. And if you enjoy outdoors, it is possible that you might enjoy sunbathing as well. And if you enjoy sunbathing, then it might be a little bit of an issue, because guess what? Our sunlight has a little bit of an UV into the mix. Okay, but of course you can practice caution. You can put on some sunscreen to fend off the impact. But if you enjoy sunbathing, if you enjoy outdoors, it might be a little bit of an issue. So yeah, it's not a big problem, but just so you're aware of it. And talking about the weekend, we also have like lots of caravan parks where people go, like to set up a tent, and can be a great weekend retreat. You can watch the starlit nights. So yes, it can be a great weekend retreat if you enjoy the outdoors. And for the climate, we are a very temperate climate. Right now, it is winter in Australia. Now, if you compare this to some of the European countries, for instance, like I have friends coming from some of those countries, they say they look, during the winter, we don't even see sunshine for days after days after days, but even the early hours, look how beautiful and shiny the surroundings are here in Australia. And in terms of the temperature, it is actually fairly mild, the fluctuations I'm talking about. We have temperature ranging from, let's say, 5 degrees to about 15 to 20 degrees during the winter. Of course, there are some places, like I'm making this video in New South Wales, and we have a region called Thredbo, okay, where snowfall is happening. So you can imagine the temperature obviously going to plunge quite a bit. So it will be about -5, 10 degrees or something. But these are like only a few exceptions. Most of the places, we have a very comfortable temperature even during the winter. Now, when it comes to the hot summer, again, the temperature can be felt between 25 degrees to about 40 degrees. 40, it's under 40 degrees, obviously. Like this summer, there were some days the temperature went to about 37, 38 degrees. Again, it can be hot, but still, it's not terribly hot. Now, I believe there was one place, I think it's called Darwin, like one of the other states, where the temperature rose to about 50 degrees. So yes, this is an extreme temperature. 50 degree is pretty high, but again, these are just a few exceptions. In most cases, the temperature stays well below 40 degrees. So whether it's hot summer, whether it's cold winter, it is a very temperate climate. And of course, in terms of the nature, we have a lot to. This country has a lot to offer. You will have a lot to explore if you love the outdoors. Now, there is a shame, like first of all, my connection to nature goes well back to my childhood. Okay, I was born in a village. But you may not be born in a village. Maybe you were born in a city area, in an urban area. But guess what? You still might enjoy the outdoors. And the examples that I'm giving you, pretty much, these are all at your fingertips. Okay. To my shame, of course, I really haven't explored this beautiful landscape. Again, this is one of the worst shortcomings that I have had living here in Australia for the last 10 years. Okay, but of course I have to, compensate for my shortcoming in one way or the other. But I have a plan. I might as well go into the length and breadth of this country at some point to explore this vast landscape. But that's the plan. You're gonna need a lot of money. You're gonna need a lot of money. You're gonna need a lot of time, a lot of planning and organization. But yes, I do have a plan to overcome my shortcomings. So yeah, in the last 10 years, and the examples that I've given you, these parks, the work that I'm having right now, all of these things, the caravan parks, beaches, we have stunningly beautiful beaches at your doorsteps. Like if you even explore the region called Blue Mountains, you'll be surprised. Like you'll be like smack dab. Okay, you'll be you'll be like literally dazzled by the beauties of nature, like how beautiful places that we have, even half-hour drive, maybe 1 hour drive. So as a landscape, it has a lot to offer, okay? Something that I can hardly put into words. So all of these things are at your fingertips. That's another beauty. Okay, and there are some other things that Australia is very famous for, which we'll talk more detail in on another day. Now we have, let's say, a very robust healthcare system, like we have Medicare. Okay, it's not going to cover all the expenses, but it does cover a significant amount, especially your tests. Your medical tests are covered, most of them, and some doctor visits as well. Again, not all visits, not all expenses is covered. Even hospital stay, to some extent, it is covered under the Medicare. Okay, it is like a pool of money that all Australians are supposed to put into. So it's a kind of a welfare fund, and that pool is used to provide healthcare assistance to people in need. And then we also have like social security. We have the Centerlink. If, for instance, you are out of job, then you can go to Centerlink and they will give you some handouts so that you do not die of starvation. Okay, again, another facility that we all Australians enjoy. And then we also have a very strong economy, very robust, very resilient economy. Like back in the days of GFC, for instance, like I'm talking about 2010, 2008, even back then, our economy didn't go into a crisis, okay? We suffered like during the time of COVID, when the whole world was suffering, when the whole economy, the world was shaken. Even then, our government provided a very robust, very generous support to all Australians. So yeah, it only shows how resilient, how strong our economy is. And if you think about, like, there are some other tools, for instance, property, okay? We have a very strong property market, and it is a great tool for building wealth. Plus, we also have another tool, superannuation, another great tool for building wealth. By the way, I have besides blogging, there are some couple of other topics that I find very fascinating. I really love to talk about. And one other thing is finance. I make separate videos on those topics as well. If you are interested, if you want to follow along, you are more than welcome to check out those videos. So yeah, these are some of the things that Australia is, very famous for. And if you think about the cultural climate, right? We are a multicultural society, and you'll be very happily surprised how all these different communities come together and live peacefully compared to actually many other nations all around the world. And we also have, like, the political climate is also very, very conducive to growth, very conducive to peaceful coexistence. Of course, we have both parties, like there are difference of opinions on both spectrum of on both sides of the political spectrum, and still we find a middle ground to to get along and move on and things like that. So yeah, it is a very conducive environment for making you rich, making you like living a comfortable life, making you happy. So Australia as a land, it has a lot to offer. As a country, it has a lot to offer. So if you are coming from Europe, if you are thinking to to come to Australia, I would say just close your eyes and get on board. If you enjoy outdoors, this should be the top destination in your list. Now look, when you are coming from overseas, as I said, living overseas is a difficult task, especially at the beginning, at the initial stage. It will be a bumpy ride, okay? My journey was very bumpy. It was very cruisy, very bumpy, but once the dust settles down, just after a year, things gonna get better. That's what I can say. You have to give some time. Like some people, they quit too early, should I say. You have to go through the struggle phase, and then comes the joy. Then comes the success story. First, you have to fail, and from the failure, you have to learn. And out of the learning, you're gonna rise up. That's how things happen. So your journey, if you are coming, it will not be very easy, of course. But guess what? We have lots of tools to make you succeed, and that's the beauty of Australia. So I hope you enjoyed. And again, look, we are a multicultural country, and there are lots of cuisines as well. Like if you enjoy different types of food, like I'm not big on food, so I cannot really tell you more about it. But if you enjoy food, of course, it will be again another great exploration for you. So yeah, these are some of the good things about living in Australia. And again, I will explore some of the other things on another day. So that's about it, and I hope you enjoyed. And if that is the case, give it a like, share it, spread the message. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you on the next one. So thank you for joining, and bye for now. Thank you.